everyone. Good to have you with us for the College Game Night Update. Scott Reese, Tom Brennan, Doug Gottlieb. UMass on to the finals, so people were hoping for that rematch of Florida and Ohio State, but you know what, TV? Ain't gonna happen.
You know what? You got to give UMass a lot of credit. I mean, they have really come on. They've won 14 out of their last 15. The only loss being to Charlotte in the quarterfinals of the Atlantic 10 tournament, and they've been behind in several of their games, and yet they're in the NIT finals, and their coach is a hot guy, I would think.
I mean, think about it. He's got the pedigree, having played not just at Missouri before transferring to Kentucky, then played at Kentucky. Look what he's done, taking Eastern Kentucky to the NCAA tournament, and now a likable, watchable style. And the thing I like best is you're down 22 to Syracuse. Now you're down 9 at the half to Florida, and you come back and win. And you heard from Dante Milligan. Coach wasn't even mad. He said, let's just keep playing. We're going to win this game. Matter of fact, here's the kicker. He told me the other night that when they got the Syracuse lead to 11, he called a timeout, not because his kids were tired. He called timeout to say, they're done. We got them just where we want them. Unbelievable.
Cardiac kids in Amherst. Now they'll sit back, relax, and await the winner of our next game, Ohio State and Ole Miss, which will tip off at Madison Square Garden about 20 minutes from now. Big coaching news today, both coming and going. First, the coming, and that would be in Bloomington, Indiana, as Tom Crean gets the nod as next coach of the Hoosiers. A news conference expected tomorrow afternoon. Crean has already signed a letter of intent with the university, was meeting with his team at last check earlier tonight. Of course, Crean most recently of Marquette. What do you think of this hire, Coach?
Well, I think it's a good hire. I really do, because I think Tom Crean is really like a frenetic guy. He's going to work his tail off. He's really diligent in his pursuit of players, and he's an extremely hard worker. And I think that's what Indiana needs right now. They're really in the bottom of the barrel. I think Gordon's going to leave, and the other guys, 2 guys have been thrown off the team. They got a tough road to hoe.
Yeah, you mentioned 2 guys thrown off the team. It's sort of an interesting side note today as interim coach, and as it turns out, lame duck coach Dan Dakich dismissed Armand Bassett and Jamarcus Ellis, 2 of the key cogs in this Indiana machine, Doug, during the course of this season. Of course, the first reaction is, can he really do that?
Yeah, I think he can. And I think that what I've been told is that their actions far preceded this actual date, in that whoever the coach was going to get rid of both Bassett and Jamarcus Ellis. So, look, Indiana was a mess. I talked to several other coaches that the topic had been broached to them about possibly taking the Indiana job, and they'd become well aware not just of this situation, but the possibility of NCAA sanctions. So Crean makes sense. He's been in the conference. He's been to a Final Four. Maybe he doesn't play the up-and-down style we're seeing of a Travis Ford or some of the other possible candidates, but having been in that conference and been successful, and by the way, getting Dominic James at Indiana doesn't hurt as well.
Yep, Marquette, of course, a second-round NCAA tournament victim this year, but did reach the Final Four a few years back with Dwayne Wade. Now the goings, and that would be Stillwater, Oklahoma, and Sean Sutton, who is out as head coach, resigning under heavy pressure after 2 seasons. This almost 2 weeks after the Cowboys finish off this year at 17 and 16. Sutton less than halfway through a 5-year deal worth $750,000 per year. Doug, this, of course, your alma mater. You're still very close to the program. What can you tell us about this decision to let Sutton go?
I think it was twofold. I think, one, he didn't win enough games, but it's really surprising, just 2 years. I mean, look, if you're going to count the half a year he took over for his father after the DUI, when he took time away from the program and then eventually retired, and then of course came back this year, then don't you have to count part of the time when he was an assistant and they went to the Final Four and went to the Sweet 16 the following year? I think it's twofold. 1, didn't win enough games. 2, a personality conflict, not necessarily just between Sean Sutton and Mike Holder, but between Eddie Sutton, Sean Sutton, his section of the Regents when he was empowered, and T. Boone Pickens, the donor who gave $165 million, which is now estimated over $300 million. Mike Holder, who's the athletic director's longtime friend, a very successful golf coach, who's now that AD. 2 sections, and they split apart, and that fissure was able to be completely cut off when Sean Sutton didn't get to his team to an NCAA tournament. I just think 2 years, I don't care who the coach is, has nothing to do with the fact I went to Oklahoma State. 2 years is too soon.
Plus the fact that he was 1-6, and they never quit on him. They kept roaring back. They played hard at the end of the year. They have 4 out of 5 starters back. I mean, that's a really good job, a good group of people to go back to there.
You know, we dwelled on how this team hadn't won a road game in almost 2 years, and then they snapped off a couple in a row. And you're right, TB, they were playing well.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, even sort of snuck into that bubble conversation, but in the end, not so much.
There's been a lot of discussion about Bill Self and Billy Gillespie getting a call. Don't be surprised if Tubby Smith, who is really well respected and a great coach at Tulsa before going on to Georgia and Kentucky, also gets a call.
Tubby, a well-traveled man. Stay tuned as the coaching carousel continues. And stay tuned to the College Game Night update. We will open the email vault and talk a little ball. Which Final Four team would these guys like to coach? Can't wait to hear that. And, oh, yeah, we'll hear from the Final Four coaches as well.
Today, I plan on not freaking out about my wireless bill. I plan on saying whatever when my daughter talks for hours. Yeah, I plan on being totally down with calling Denver in the middle of the afternoon, huh? Hollering at my boys, kicking it with three-way calling. I plan on grabbing my celly and getting my...
Dad!
Oh, sorry. Okay.
America's most reliable network introduces a plan with truly unlimited calling. Talk as much as you want with anyone in the U.S. for one flat rate. And now buy a text-friendly Envy Your Music playing chocolate for just $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
The Toyota Corolla is so fuel efficient, we gave our friend a gallon of gas and put his fiancée on a yacht far, far away with an all-star water polo team. The all-new Corolla makes it. The 35-mile-per-gallon rated Corolla. Live the dream for less coin.
March isn't the only month for madness.
When it happens, I'm 100% there.
State Farm, proud partner of the NCAA basketball tournament.
Ball, please.
Tail of the tape for the Final Four. Of course, it's 1v1 and 1v1. Here, UCLA and Memphis. The records both gaudy, but the pedigree slightly favors the Bruins with 18 Final Fours and 11 national titles. I tell you what, both of these teams are ready for an all-out war.
The upcoming game against Memphis on Saturday is probably the toughest game we've had all year. I just have watched them on film in the last 24 hours. They're tremendous. It's just unbelievable how talented, how athletic. We have our hands full, but we're excited to be back again and have a chance to advance.
The greatest thing is this team's just having a ball. They're having so much fun, and they're playing unleashed. The offense gets them an opportunity to go do what they want to do. The defense, the way they're playing it, they're really competing. I don't know what that means in the Final Four of these last couple games, but I'll tell you what, it should be fun.
This one should be fun as well. Two of the most storied programs in all of college basketball, Kansas and North Carolina. Again, both #1 seeds. Nary a weakness on either of these teams. 4 titles all time for the Heels, 2 for the Jayhawks. The subplot here, Roy Williams versus his old team. 2 of college basketball's elite going head-to-head.
I do think it's fitting that probably the 4 most consistent teams over the year. There's been some other teams that have played great and certainly been in the top 5 and that kind of stuff, but over the course of the year, these have probably been the 4 most consistent teams that have played at a high level, and I think it should be as good a Final Four from a talent standpoint as we've had in many, many, many years.
It's really a game about the players. It really is, and it was 5 years ago that I left. I loved it. It was fantastic for me for 15 years, but it was 5 years ago, and Coach Self has done a great job with a big-time basketball team that I really enjoy watching play throughout the course of this season. I'm not going to enjoy watching them play probably on Saturday night, but they've had a great, great year and are in the Final Four, and very deservedly so.
Gentlemen, let's talk a little ball. First question from Juan in Wallingford, Connecticut. And this is very interesting. Which of the Final Four teams, TB, would you most like to coach?
I'll tell you, it's a no-brainer for me, Scotty. I would love to coach the Memphis team in the Final Four. 1, they have the biggest chip on their shoulder. 2, they feel like they've been disrespected, the fact that they're 38-1. And I love...
Isn't that the same thing?
I love coaching.
Chip on their shoulder and feeling disrespected?
Excuse me, can I finish?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I love the idea that Coach Cal is even talking about how UCLA is going to grab them when they go through the lane, have 2 hands on them, mano a mano. He's already looking for calls, but I think Memphis is really a neat team to coach. I like their chance.
I take Carolina. You have a guy who you know where your bread is buttered inside with Tyler Hansbrough. Ty Lawson has taken this team to a whole new level with his speed and quickness. You got Danny Green coming off the bench. Wayne Ellington, you have depth inside, depth in the perimeter, plus they get up and down. I'd take Carolina.
Jim in Greenville, Kentucky. Which freshman will have a bigger positive impact, Rose or Love?
I would say Rose, simply because of the fact he's going to have the ball all the time, and he has proven beyond a doubt so far what a quality player he is. I think Love having to go against Joey Dorsey, that's a tough matchup.
Well, I think Love will have to have a major impact. I'm not sure how UCLA is going to manufacture points if they can't do it with Love inside. And Rose destroyed DJ Augustine. What he does against Aaron Collison may well determine not just whether or not Memphis wins a national championship, but whether or not he becomes the #1 overall pick in next year's NBA draft, ahead of Beasley.
And we have Anthony in Beverly Hills, California. Hey, did the Lopez twins make a mistake coming out early, Coach?
One of them did. I think Robin should have stayed for one more year. I think he could have been the center of things at Stanford. Obviously, Brooke was ready, but we'll find out. Time will tell.
Agreed. Robin needed another year. I understand, your twin brother wants to go. We agree. By the way, was that you emailing in from
it was not. It was not a
Beverly Hills emailing us, huh? Well, 90210.
Nope. Coincidence.
Okay.
Hey, women's Final Four is almost set. 3 teams are there. One more set to go over on ESPN right now, but we'll let you know whether it's Tennessee or Texas A&M that will be playing in Tampa next weekend. And the Ole Miss Rebels, Dwayne Curtis and company, getting ready to rock and roll against the Buckeyes of The Ohio State University just a few minutes from now.
Hey, there's an easier way to prove you're a Cold Hard fan. Just log on to ESPN.com, search Coors Light, and enter for a chance to win a trip to compete in the Cold Hard Fan Awards, hosted by me, Stuart Scott, in Las Vegas. So grab a cold, refreshing Coors Light and check out sports.
Do you want to own a brand new name brand computer and improve your credit at the same time? If so, Circuit Country says you're approved.
With my credit, I never thought I could get a brand new computer. But when I called Circuit Country, I got instant approval, and it was easy.
With this incredible offer from Circuit Country, if you have a checking account and can payments, you are already approved, guaranteed for a brand new name brand computer. There's no credit check, so you won't be turned down.
The flexible payment plans made it easy on my budget. And my kids are getting ahead in school.
All you need is a checking account and can afford low flexible payments.
With my new computer from Circuit Country, I started my own business, and now I'm my own boss.
And when you call, be sure to ask your operator about our exciting credit improvement program. Call now and we'll add a free color printer, a free 20-inch LCD TV, and a free MP3 music player with your paid order. You heard right. Free printer, free LCD TV, and a free MP3 player. Call now and tell us where you want us to send your brand new computer and free gifts.
I'm glad I called.
For the past 7 seasons, the V Foundation for Cancer Research, in collaboration with ESPN, has honored the human spirit on the collegiate level. It's called the V Foundation Comeback Award, and it's open to men's and women's basketball student athletes in all NCAA divisions. The award goes to an individual or team which has achieved personal triumph in the face of true adversity, be it in health, life, or moral dilemma. The award presented in memory of Jim Valvano. This year's recipient is Drexel women's basketball player Nicole Hester. 2 years ago, Nicole detected some lumps on her neck. She thought they were just the result of a cold. A visit to the doctor's office resulted in a life-changing moment as she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Nicole attacked the disease with the same fervor she had for life. She left school to undergo radiation and chemotherapy, then returned to school and the court this past fall, ignoring the hurdles and putting in painstaking hours to regain her form. Her determination clearly inspired her teammates. After a losing season without Nicole, Drexel finished this past campaign with an 18-12 record. She led the team in assists and will return next season with the hope that her drive and spirit can lead Drexel to an NCAA bid. Elite Eight action on the women's side. There's Pat Summitt leading Tennessee against Texas A&M. This is a scary moment here as Candace Parker comes up lame. Looks like she hurt the shoulder. She would leave the game, get it bandaged up, and she would come back at less than full strength. But you know what? She's a gamer. Second half of a 3-point game. Danielle Gant, the pilfer, the push. Aggies with a 5-point lead.
6 all-time tournament wins for the Aggies coming into this game, going up against Tennessee.
Ensuing possession underneath. There's Parker from Alexis Hornbuckle. Parker finished with 26 on 10 of 16 shooting. Not bad for a bum shoulder.
Yeah,
And then Hornbuckle
Oh, deep. Yeah, real deep.
9-1.
Hornbuckle 14, 4 steals, 4 assists, and the Lady Vols are moving on to the Final Four, which honestly sounds kind of redundant.
Yes, it does.
Seems like we say that every year, but 53-45 is your final as Tennessee will join, well, the winner of UConn and Rutgers. Of course, playing right now over on ESPN. And how about the Scarlet Knights?
Quite a shocker, it really is.
25-11. Keisha Soigné just 1 of 5 shooting, so you can check this game out over on ESPN. Still a long way to go. It's 8 minutes before the half. Chris Warren, a star freshman for Ole Miss. He's ready to rock against Ohio State just about, 10 minutes from now.
David Otis, Big Papi Amor.
It's that authentic. New Era, official on-field cap of Major League Baseball.
That's him.
With the kind of craftsmanship, devotion to detail, and seriously cool stuff that goes into the Mazda 3.
Hey, Mike, can I have my car back now?
Some people might never want to get out. Mazda 3, 5-door and 4-door, designed and engineered the Zoom Zoom way.
Whoa! That must be the coolest job in the world.
Actually, kid, I'm a fighter pilot. He's the lawn pro.
Mow like the pros and cut your mowing time in half with the amazing Toro Time Cutter Z. Visit toro.com/Z to learn more.
David Otis, Big Papi Amor.
It's that authentic. New Era, official on-field cap of Major League Baseball.
Couple of American League scores for you. Yankees 3-2 over the Jays. A-Rod has an RBI double. Angels 4-0 over the Twins opening night in Minnesota. Vladdy Guerrero, a couple of ribs, and John Garland has been terrific thus far. Mets and Marlins all tied at 4. Big news here, Pedro Martinez left the game in the 4th with a strained left hamstring. Rockies and Cards scoreless bottom of the 5th. In case you missed it, UMass and Florida, NIT semifinal.
Hey, they got to wear the Florida gear again.
Yeah, they go.
Nick Calathis, Chandler Parsons, he beat Jammin. Florida up by 9 at the break. Second half, here come the Minutemen off the turnover. Chris Lowe, 2 of his 16. 7-point game. And check this, 2-point game rather, this sequence. The Gary Forbes block. He'll get it back. And then check out the spinning look to Etienne Brower. That's nice. And UMass 78-66. Of course, one more game to go to determine the NIT final. It'll be either Ohio State or Ole Miss. It's a Buckeye team that has been steady, if not spectacular, through the last third of this season, guys. And Ole Miss really putting on a charge late in the season. So what do you think?
They have. I like Ole Miss. Dwayne Curtis has had 17 double-doubles and all SEC second team. And, of course, Chris Warren, one of the best freshman guards in the league. He'll go against Butler. That should be an interesting matchup.
All right, if they want to win, they have to be able to score against Ohio State's matchup zone defense. And more than anything, you better control Jamar Butler off the high screen roll. Ohio State's entire offense revolves around his ability to turn the corner and pull up from deep 3 or get into lane and create for others. Control Butler, score against the matchup zone, and you'll be in good shape. I, on the other hand, like Ohio State.
Great freshman in this game. You mentioned Chris Warren, of course, Costa Koufos as well. Two of the best in the bigs. And in a year that freshmen dominated the college basketball landscape, maybe these two didn't quite get the respect they deserve.
You know, they didn't, but what happened was they both played real well early in the year. Koufos especially, he was real good in Madison Square Garden early, then kind of tapered off a little bit. And everybody else was so good around him, the other freshmen, that you can only talk about so many things.
Yeah, a guy like Othello Hunter actually played much better than Koufos at the end of the season for Ohio State. And watch out for Diebler as well. And this is a great opportunity. We look at West Virginia making a run to the Sweet 16. Remember, they won 27 games. 5 of those were in the NIT last year, and they helped use that to buttress into this season and then get all the way to that Sweet 16.
SEC versus Big Ten, Madison Square Garden, lights on. Let's play some basketball coming up next. Ole Miss and Ohio State for a chance to play in the NIT final.
Rubber ball, $6. Softball, $5. Football, $35. Being ready for whatever parenthood throws at you, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's credit or debit MasterCard.
I inhabit the nightmares of Italian loafers. I've trodden my own path. I have stepped in bull, but never talked it. I have been rehealed, resold, but never replaced. I am a stranger to polish. I have spent more time on dirt than cement.
You're out here for a reason. So are we. Tractor Supply Company. The stuff you need out.
I thought of DVR. I didn't think of the box. Time Warner Cable did the box. But if you take away the electronics and the box and the wires and the bits that make it work, what's left? That's my idea.
My idea was video on demand. Movies without going to the video store. That's a good idea. All the other big ideas were already taken. Evolution, gravity, the theory of relativity.
Welcome to Progressive.com. Did you find your policy okay?
I did. Saved over $350.
We have a savings of $350. A savings of $350. You know, that comes with concierge claim service, local response claim service, and 24/7 live support, all at no extra charge.
Wow.
Wow, I know. I say it louder. Have a great day.
Lots of extra features that don't cost you extra. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Gotham, New York City. A little rainy today, but welcome to a MasterCard NIT semifinal matchup between the Ole Miss Rebels and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's take a look at the brackets. UMass has already punched their ticket into Thursday's championship game with an upset of the Florida Gators in the first semifinal meeting tonight. So it'll be the Minutemen waiting to see would it be Ohio State or Ole Miss that they will face off with on Thursday evening for the NIT championship of 2008. Hello, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Fran Fraschilla and Bill Raftery. And gentlemen, first of all, let's talk with you, Fran, and that is the hot shooting of Ohio State in this NIT. Can they continue it?
Oh, I think they can. Similar to Florida, young team, good basketball team led by a senior. Butler knocks it down from deep.
As far as Ole Miss is concerned, Bill Raftery, they have been just a rebounding machine. Not only leading the SEC this year, but also they picked it up here in the NIT.
And why not start with Dwayne Curtis? His ability around the rim is extraordinary. He doesn't really elevate. He just moves a few people. Very strong around the rim.
Time for the Star Watch, and first of all, let's talk about the guards.
Well, the country's getting a look at a guy that's been brilliant all year as a freshman, Chris Warren for Ole Miss, and Jamar Butler. What's he done? Well, he's only the winningest player in Ohio State history. That's pretty good.
And how about the big people?
And the big fellas looming big on the box. Dwayne Curtis gets almost 9.5 rebounds a game, and Costa Kufas' ability to step outside, and also a little jump hook around the rim. They'll be fun to watch.
So here are the starting lineups. First of all, from the Rebels from Ole Miss, Chris Warren, Polonese, Huertas, Kenny Williams, and Dwayne Curtis. And for the Buckeyes from Columbus Way with 22 wins, it'll be Butler, Turner, Lighty, Hunter, and Kufas. Thad Matta, the head coach, took them to the championship game just last year, facing off against the Florida Gators, who were eliminated tonight in the semifinal round of this NIT tournament. Fourth season as the head man at Ohio State, 103 wins and 35 losses. There's Ed right there in the middle. And Andy Kennedy, in his second year for the Ole Miss Rebels, the first head coach in the school's history to win 20-plus games his first 2 seasons at the school.
Well, you remember what a great job Billy did at Cincinnati in taking over for Bob Huggins.
They sure did, and a lot of people thought he deserved that opportunity, and I think he's very happy he didn't get it. Making his own name and doing a terrific job down south in Oxford.
And let's check in with Alan Hopkins. Alan?
Thanks and good evening once again, Ron, Bill, and Fran. For Mississippi, it's only the second time the program's ever played in New York and the first time they've been able to play in the Mecca of Madison Square Garden. Coach Andy Kennedy told me he doesn't expect the bright lights in Big City to affect his team at all, as they played in hostile situations before. But Coach Kennedy himself, 19 years ago, was able to win his last game of the season here in the NIT, winning the third-place game. He said he wants his players to understand what a special memory it is, but they have to win the game for them to realize that's just the case. Ron?
Okay, Alton, thanks so very much. Hunter about to jump it up against Kenny Williams, and the ball's going to be tipped right over here, right next to Bill Raftery, and that means the ball will go to Ohio State to go on offense for the first time tonight.
Can't elevate like I used to. Couple of inches. That Sunday morning, I guess Saturday morning Daily News was for the limit of my ability.
So Ohio State on offense first, and how about Ole Miss, Bill?
And right now they go man-to-man, Fran and Ron.
Butler way outside, and it's going to be taken down and taken away by Kufus.
Well, the key for Ole Miss, as Andy Kennedy told us, is his freshman guard, Chris Warren. As he goes, so goes the Rebels.
And how he guards Butler is very important to the way they play.
Curtis, the first rebound for him of the night, and we'll keep his numbers closely.
And you notice below the rim, Raph.
Yeah, no trampolines out there.
Yeah, the joke on that, even the head coach says it. They rebound well, but they rebound below the rim. Polynice.
And he's one of that nice slip after that screen. How about that reaction by Kufus?
Gets the block.
Nice look here.
Well, an outstanding opportunity for Othello Hunter, and he missed it. Warren deep in the corner. Three-pointer on the way, and it's there. And that's good news if you're one of those that follows David Huertas, the sophomore out of Humacao, Puerto Rico.
I'll tell you, the last 7 games, though, he's been on fire. Nice pass.
Kufus missed it. Taken away by Ole Miss. That's Polynice.
Kufus is not your prototype big guy, Bill. He's more of that European style. Loves to play away from the basket, and he will next year. The monster recruiting class coming in.
And the big thing is, can this team, Mississippi, get in the lane, I think? Can they turn the corner? Because this zone can suffocate you. I think it's vulnerable at the foul line or below and in the corners.
And we saw in that first game how well UMass attacked that zone with the dribble.
Curtis takes the 2, misses. On the run, Evan Turner, and another turnover against the Buckeyes. So a shaky start, ball handling wise, in the first 1 minute and 59 seconds.
And Curtis can bite you with that little 17-foot jump shot. So that's he's not uncomfortable that far from the hole.
Right now, you got to get somebody to take it out, Ole Miss.
How about this one, huh?
Well, 17-0 this year against non-league opponents.
What was the best you had, non-league?
Oh, gosh. I don't. Maybe at Manhattan I had some teams.
That's what I meant.
Did damage, yeah. Of course, at New Mexico, you play all those home games.
Sure, that helps. That's why they called it the pit.
You could easily be 20-0 without too much trouble. You just got to get Eastern New Mexico on a schedule a couple times.
Boy, Andy did a nice shot getting to the pinch post with that pass.
Nice move to the hoop, and Kufus is right there to follow it. And another turnover. Leidy and Warren, lucky they didn't call him for a foul. And quickly, Andy Kennedy wants to call a timeout.
Well, that's really happy with the guard. Excuse me, Fran.
No, that's the key. Chris Warren, a freshman, first game in Madison Square Garden, but he's had so much experience this year. This should not rattle him.
You know, Bill, in doing that game up at Virginia Tech the other night, we talked on the air extensively about the most telling thing about Chris Warren, not what he did at home, but look at his games on the road in the SEC. He averaged over 19 points a ball game. He had over 19 in that road game last week up at Blacksburg. He's off to a shaky start, though, but normally is not bothered by the road.
Well, what do you think, though? This is for a championship, Final Four. I think it just changes things a little bit. Even though he's done a great job at turnovers leading to easy goals, puts you in a big hole. This is a great timeout, I think. See if Andy Kennedy can calm it a little bit.
A reach in. Polynice lost it inside, and a travel is going to be called on Dwayne Curtis.
It's just a little 2-2-1 press. It really shouldn't bother him. It's actually sped up Ole Miss.
It complements the zone, though, doesn't it?
It does.
If you want to go and attack it, it helps them. Back screen, cross screen. He's got the little hook in here. Now, this is something he's I think this season.
Koufos backs him in, and that's going to be a travel called on Costa.
And that's the body of Williams, huh?
Yeah, that's a good call. I thought, you know, Koufos is a young man he's from Canton, Ohio, but he actually had a monster summer last year for the Greek under-18 team in Europe and offered millions of dollars to stay over there. And tough choice. Home State Buckeyes won out.
Wow. Wants to learn the game, and he has improved, I think, this year. Blends in nicely with the wing people, of course, Butler at the point. And he's got a great compliment in Hunter, I think. Aggressive rebounder.
Huertas takes it the distance, high off the glass, couldn't get it to go. And inside in the rebound, it goes back to Ole Miss, and Curtis loses it.
Earlier today, Fran was talking about how they take away the three-point shot. You've got to make some moves behind those three-point guys. They're defenders.
Koufos now with an outside shot, and it's 6-3 Buckeyes.
I agree, Bill. I always felt that anytime people played me zone, we were going to get it inside because that's where they don't want the ball to go.
Right. And right here, they trap it half court. You got to go over the top and maybe attack it a little bit.
There's the versatility we talked about. And this is the prototype European big guy who can step away from the basket, even though he is from Canton, Ohio. His parents from Greece. Played at Glen Hoke High School. And next year, Bill and Ron, they've got a young man, B.J. Mullins, coming in from Columbus, 7'1", and pure post player.
There you go. That's his game. That's pretty good. And they get the offensive glass because of it.
Koufos came away with it, and you could see Jeremy Parnell making sure he didn't foul at the other end. Ohio State, and it's Othello Hunter, senior out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, co-captain of this ball club.
My friend, that shows you what Butler can do, huh? What a great find. This is what you want. Attack and see if you can get to the foul line. Jamar gets 6 assists a game, and he's over that three-point shot, but off the bounce. Hunter, big time finish at the rim.
The Masters Par 3 contest, Wednesday, April 9th at 3 on ESPN.
When you're used to always doing something with a cigarette, it can be hard doing it without one. But if you can relearn how to drive without cigarettes, then you can relearn to do anything without cigarettes. Introducing X, a new way to think about quitting.
Today, I plan on working my phone without worrying about my bill. I plan on calling back Justin, Troy, Brad. Hey, Brad. Not Brad. I plan on telling my brother what I really think about his girlfriend and telling everybody everything I've been holding back. This is gonna be fun. I was just about to call
America's most reliable network introduces a plan with truly unlimited calling. Talk as much as you want with anyone in the U.S. for one flat rate. And now buy a text-friendly Envy or music playing chocolate for just $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
Netflix interviews, take one.
Oh, Netflix is the best.
With Netflix, you can never be without a movie. Just go online and choose from over 90,000 DVD titles.
They've got it all.
With Netflix, there's no late fees.
No due dates.
You can keep the movie as long as you want.
And now, as an added bonus to your DVDs, watch some movies and TV shows instantly on your PC for no additional fee.
I'm definitely a Netflix fan.
Netflix. Get DVDs in the mail fast, plus some instantly on your PC. Go to netflix.com/TV to start your free trial.
This telecast is being broadcast in high definition, available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Olivia, live and in color. Well, our score, 8-3 Ohio State. They opened up 0 for 6, now 4 of 4. Andy Kennedy, the head coach for the Ole Miss Rebels, played for UAB 1988 through 1991. Started his career in '87 in NC State with Jim Valvano. Transferred to UAB. Became the second leading scorer, 1,787 points and a career average of 18.8. And he still holds numerous Blazer records. In 1989, played against St. John's in the NIT semifinals.
He was known, Bill, for being a great three-point shooter.
Did you see him hollering at the official after the layup? He didn't get the foul call with that highlight?
With that body, he should not. You see that skinny body? He shouldn't have got the foul call.
I thought maybe he trimmed down after he got into coaching. But the hairdo, not too bad.
Oh, when you look, see, there's the old hair.
He's got plenty there. I've seen that today on our truck.
We've got some. You're saying we got some follically challenged people on our crew?
We sure do. He got a kick out of our man, our poster, our producer.
There's a steal, and Warren at the other end. That's goaltending, and that ball was not going to go.
I think you're right.
I think he shot it too hard. It was going to come off the front rim, and it cost Ohio State.
Now the reaction by Turner, figured he's going to save the goal, but that's what they need. Attack when the pressure is out in the perimeter. Pretty good shooter on the floor now, Diebler. He's just not out there long enough.
Diebler, folks, was held the Ohio State prep record in scoring. 3,208 points. Ooh. And there's a steal by Warren. Works against Diebler. Left hand, and Warren scores it.
Boy, that was nice. He used the rim, and he got right in front of Warren.
Took his legs away. Yep. And the timeout really calmed him down. But now he's in the game.
What has Andy Kennedy done to make this alteration?
I think the timeout just relaxed him a little bit. Try to get some points off of turnovers, and they attacked the pressure.
You mentioned Diebler, guys. He had 77 in a high school game.
You coached a pretty good shooter there as well, Jay Burson.
Jay Burson, yep. He broke Jay Burson's all-time Ohio high school scoring record.
It was Matt Terwilliger, a senior out of Troy. It started 116 games prior to this one. Great anticipation by Ohio State, and here's Turner. And he'll get it on the run out.
And those long arms on that wing, you've got to really ball fake or maybe make a bounce pass. Can't just throw a chest pass.
Turner's one of those guys quietly, guys, that does a little bit of everything. He played for a great high school coach, Gene Pingator, where Isaiah Thomas played, St. Joe's.
Huertas drives it in the lane. Came away with nothing. Bill, it's interesting. You mentioned about Turner. We talked about him at practice today on the three-pointer, about what long arms that he has, and he's shown that they can be very deadly with them.
Well, you always remember Syracuse zone over the years when they were long on the wings. It was very tough to make entry passes. But there's Butler, just a little bump. That's how he bites you. He sort of glides around, Fran.
Yeah, he does. And I give this guy a lot of credit. We talked about Jamar Butler. He's the all-time leading assist guy at Ohio State, Ron. You think of the great guards through the years, but last year when Conley came on board with Greg Oden, he went to the two spot, and he even said to us yesterday, never really felt comfortable being a two guard, but he took one for the team and said it was worth it. They got to the Final Four.
Polonese reverses the shot way too high on this one. Brian Smith in the ballgame replacing Chris Warren at the point. Brian, of course, the son of Tubby Smith.
They dodged one there, giving Diebler those open looks.
You know, Diebler early in the year, Bill, he really struggled. And he was a great shooter and played for his dad, but he had some stretches early in the season where I think he really was almost like a good hitter that gets called up from AAA to the majors.
You know, he had a great game against North Carolina, and after that, it's almost like he hit the wall, as that's an opportunity for a three-point play by Jamar Butler.
How about him now? We've seen a great pass, used the high ball screen, and that little kiss in Manhattan.
Well, remember sophomore year, he was all Big Ten. Back to being all Big Ten this year, and quietly, he's one of the best underrated point guards in the country. When you throw him in there with Augustine and Conley.
You know, I saw Ron Stokes at their Michigan game, the guard that played there, now does the radio, and we talked about, nobody knows about this guy. He is talented.
Yeah, Ronnie was an outstanding player with Troy Taylor. They actually played with Clark Kellogg.
Death Valley You get thirsty in that corner.
Brian Smith has to call a timeout because of the double team. This is a 10-0 run by Ohio State. Well, Thursday night, ESPN has a great night of college hoops action. First of all, at 7 Eastern, UMass will take on the winner of this ball game between Ole Miss and Ohio State. That's where Bill and Fran and I will be. And then at 9 o'clock Eastern, check out the State Farm and college basketball slam dunk and three-point shooting championships. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
I don't know who's going to play in that game against UMass, but you better put your track shoes on because the New Yorkers came to play, Bill Raftery.
You better not go walking the streets tomorrow. You better put the legs up. Brower on the extension there, widens out, Milligan around the rim, and Mom, a little special meaning in that family. His ability to step up, controlling the emotion of the day, just extraordinary. They get a 5-second here, a turnover.
Graham through the air and pass. They turn it over. Three-pointer on the way. Diebler to Williger. Nope. And as they battle for it, going to be taken away by Ohio State.
Boy, Whitey. Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Just an air ball by Butler there. It'll speak of UMass. 4 of the 5 starters had double figures, and the one who did not have had 8 points.
Now, you mentioned Lighty and Turner on the wings. They're not in. Of course, Turner's not in now. They are tough defensively. They play a lot bigger people. Nice pass.
Curtis shot it a little too hard. Tipped around, and that's going to be touched last by Ole Miss. And it'll be Ohio State basketball.
You know what? We talked about this during the season, Ron. One of the ways you can tell it's a matchup zone is all that pointing and talking. You know, guys are just kind of directing traffic out there. And that's been a, you know, for a guy that doesn't play much zone in his career, it's been pretty effective this year.
Absolutely. He's doing what he has to do. I remember years ago, Providence used to play it. And we asked some of the players that played for Joe Mulaney. So we don't, when you follow somebody through, what's the rules? So we just decide to follow once in a while. You know? It's like a little loose kind of play and confusing.
Goes to Kufas, whether it's inside or out. He's got 6 points. He's doing a little bit of everything tonight.
He's got a great shooting touch, and he can shoot that 3 as well.
Huertas asking for the ball. He gets double teamed. And he got a reach in there and no call.
Nice ball fake.
Turner will score it. 14-0 is the run.
Good catch.
He dishes off to Williams, and he will score it.
But I love their attitude, though. They're coming over the line and attacking now. They're not picking it up at half court.
Huertas becoming very vocal with his teammates. The youngster out of Puerto Rico. He told me that he will have family down in Puerto Rico watching this basketball game tonight. They get it. Three-pointer. Rattles it down. David Lighty, a sophomore out of Cleveland, played at St. Joe's.
Well, St. Joe's has had many alumni that have gone on to be Buckeyes. Mentioned Clark Kellogg, Trey Glee.
Right then, if that might have wanted them back away from the press, stay in the half court. They want to give up those easy ones, make them work, and they've struggled against it.
Polynice on the run. Got there, then shot it too hard.
Boy, Turner, much better handle than I thought, huh? That's the one you didn't handle it this well or as often.
Dwayne Curtis upset with himself. He got the block, but didn't get the ball.
Well, we mentioned Evan Turner, Billy. Young man from St. Joe's in Chicago with a little trickery. And the Buckeyes right now are taking command.
Epson T001, Canon BC31E.
Shopping for ink and toner at most stores is hit or miss.
HP C9720.
Come on.
A.
At Staples, we guarantee we'll have the ink and toner you need in stock.
Bingo.
Including Dell. The ink and toner guarantee. Only at Staples. That was easy.
Stay focused for the next 60 seconds. That's all the time I have to tell you the truth about HD television. The truth your cable company doesn't want you to hear. Cable wants you to believe they're keeping up with HD capacity. They're not. but DirecTV is. Get the best entertainment and the most HD channels with DirecTV. That includes exclusive sports with games and matchups you won't see on cable. So call now for all your favorite sports, movies, and shows. And you always get your local channels. Do you know what else? Packages start at only $29.99 per month, and you can add HD access to any package for an additional $9.99. Compare that to your cable bill. There are no startup costs, no equipment to buy, and professional installation is free. Call now. You also get a free HD receiver or DirecTV DVR upgrade from America's #1 HD provider. Time's up. Make the call.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the MasterCard NIT is brought to you by MasterCard. There's some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And in part by Tractor Supply Company, the stuff you need out here.
So we are back at the Garden, second semifinal matchup of the night. UMass is already in the finals, and it's Ohio State 25-10. And Thad Matta, well, his numbers continue to impress.
First time I ran into him was at Butler. I'm sure you the same. No matter where he's gone, of course, his imprint here has been extraordinary. And Sean Miller sat alongside.
Right. You look at the mentors too. Barry Collier at Butler, and of course he replaced Skip Prosser at Xavier. And then Ohio State, of course, he took over that program when
Jimmy O'Brien
left and had some of the NCAA issues.
And I think that all straightened out, didn't it?
Quickly. They love the Buckeyes in Ohio.
And Thad's really just did a great job. And then changing the look. And how about this? Very impressive by Turner. That time to pull up.
Turner didn't start the first 6 or 7 games of the season. No longer a typical freshman.
There's a 1-3-1 look in the half court. They're really throwing a lot of stuff. Just testing in the inexperience of Warren.
He had that one knocked away, but it was saved by Huertas. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Warren left alone, long three, and he's got it.
And that's the one thing Andy said. This kid doesn't worry about anything. Plays with a lot of experience.
Little 2-2-1 pressure. They move the ball well, don't they?
They sure do. The wings handle him. A nice flash to the blocker. The pinch post.
Williams with a rebound for the Rebs. See if Warren can get a string of things going here.
What a good look, huh? He had to readjust that entry, too, to get around the hands of the perimeter there. Turner.
Ron Franklin, Fran Frischella, and Bill Raftery, along with Alan Hopkins, coming to you from Madison Square Garden in New York. It's the second of 2 semifinal matchups. In the first game tonight, UMass won over the University of Florida, and UMass awaits the winner of this ball game here for a Thursday night championship game as Curtis misses the first.
You mentioned Warren and the recruitment, Ron, VCU and Old Dominion. I asked the Florida staff, how come you didn't recruit him? He was from Orlando, and they said they didn't think they were going to lose Torian Green. So he signed early with Ole Miss, and that's when they scrambled and came up with Jay Lucas in the spring. But what an addition he would be to Florida right now.
And they got a little guard out of the city coming next year, I think, Florida.
Irving, that's right, Irving Walker.
From Christ the King, right?
Yep, one of Bobby O'Weaver's pupils.
Look at this guy. What a Hunter. Tough competitor, I think. Usually around the rim you get excited. That was a pretty good one-bounce extension.
Huertas not there. The rebound and a block inside, and that was Othello Hunter.
The junior college transfer, you remember last year, he quietly was Greg Oden's bodyguard inside, and here he comes up with this monster rejection.
But you always think of him being a power guy around the basket. He's developed a little game away.
Well, the interesting thing about Hunter is, guys, this is only his 5th year of organized basketball.
Well, that's a good point. He's one of those guys that you can see ending up on a roster someday.
Yeah, no question about it. Huertas deep. Yeah, he's gaining on the game, kind of, isn't he?
So that makes it a 13-point game as we go under 8.5 minutes. With the left-handed dribble, falling away.
He loves
Hits
that
the
shot.
jumper, I'm telling you.
Now, he does
so
that.
do 6'2" guards.
That's exactly right, Ron. That's right. That's a 7-footer right there.
He does that beautifully. I mean, that's a real confident, almost Kevin Love-like, if you recall the tournament, those fadeaways.
Now, on the other end, that's the difference. You can take it right to him, and he really doesn't want to be a post player.
Kenny Williams, nice move.
Well, at least he doesn't want to defend the post.
No, I can't blame him for that.
Nice entry. How about that? Outside block. Excuse me, Williams. Three-pointer. Had a decent open look, but Warren a little bit off the mark on that one. 7.5 minutes left to play first half. Ole Miss at Ohio State, both looking for an opportunity to play UMass. And boy, the Minutemen play Thursday night the way they played this evening. I'm not sure I'd be excited about meeting them. I'd love to be in the finals, but boy, that was an aroused ball club tonight. All those New Yorkers on there really came to play.
Steph, that's about his third walk. First one that's been called, right?
6 turnovers against the Bucks. 31-18 they lead it. Just over 7 left in the first half.
Search Pontiac G8 reviews online and see why it's getting a bit of a reputation. The first ever Pontiac G8 GT. The most powerful car starting under 30 grand.
Where Here Comes the Bride meets Here Comes All Her Stuff. Believe me, I'm there.
Wherever you are in life, whatever your needs, your dreams, or the hours you keep, no one understands that place better than State Farm. We help more people save money and protect what matters than anybody else.
You know where? Daddy, can't wait to get my license meets. Can't believe my baby's driving. Oh yeah, I'm there.
From car to home to life, like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Well, every time we come to New York to do the NIT for the semis and the finals, the circus is in town. And back behind the wall, directly behind where we are, that's where these huge beasts are. And we always are prayerful that no one opens that door because they drink that water, but they don't necessarily bathe that often, do they?
Well, you know, the way UMass ran up and down, it was like a stampede of sorts, but from a couple of pachyderms to a couple of more.
Yeah, I just don't know if that shot means that we got a little 3-ring circus out here. You know?
Let me ask you guys this: for Andy Kennedy and Ole Miss to get back in this ball game, you know, it's a 31-18 ball game. 13 is certainly within their reach, but what do they have to do?
I think they got to tighten up their defense, and particularly in transition. Ohio State's done a good job, I think, of getting out in transition, and half court they've been pretty effective too, Bill.
And then offensively make good decisions, you know, handle the different pressure points, make good decisions around the rim, get some good shots.
So you see the field goals.
And there's a good example. They were in the right spot but didn't handle the ball.
Lighty.
Well, Lighty played such a big part on that team last year with Conley and Oden and the group that went to the championship game.
Steps, walk. Whew. And Andy beside himself on the sideline. This is when you don't recognize your guys. You're going, what is going on out here?
That's exactly right, because as you know, Ron, we talked about it. They played so well at Virginia Tech in a hostile environment.
Yeah, very few turnovers and lots of rebounds.
Nice play with the back screen. Forget about it. Oh,
Otella Hunter.
How about Turner? Just a little bump. Opens it up. A little late, huh, on the coverage.
I don't know if Koufos was going to ever light. He just kept on rolling down the floor.
Well, hard to tell right here, but you're right, Billy. The back screen set it all up. No one helped, and
they hadn't run it all game too, right? You know they've talked about it.
They walked through it.
Yeah. Koufos has to go to the bench with his second foul.
You've got some freshmen out here right now. Warren and Gaskins. Polynice only a sophomore.
Three off the mark, and a whistle and a foul is going to be called on Parnell. Well, Friday night at 8 Eastern, ESPN Classic remembers the North Carolina State upset of the Houston Cougars 25 years later. That, of course, played in the pit in Albuquerque.
Boy, familiar face and name, huh?
You bet. Jimmy V's brother.
Bobby doing ESPN radio.
Like anything else, hard to believe it's 25 years.
It is incredible. Don't remind me. I think my hair was dark, or maybe one strand.
You know, it's really interesting. Guy Lewis's ball club, once they won on Saturday against Louisville, everybody said that was for the national championship, because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people thought that it would be Louisville who would be representing, you know, that side of the bracket. And boy, when it didn't happen, then it was like, well, this could be a walk as far as Phi Slamma Jamma, and it didn't happen that way. But the odd thing was, NC State, had they not won the tournament, would not have even gotten in the NCAA tournament, would they?
Well, some people think they had to make that long ACC run, but interestingly, Dave Gavitt said recently that once they got to the final of the ACCs, they probably would have gotten in.
Yeah.
I thought the interesting thing, Terry Gannon told me a few weeks ago, everybody thought NC State would slow it down, and they went into the locker room before the game, and Jimmy V said, nah, we're going out and playing. And then ultimately they held the ball at the end.
He was courageous. Of course, the giveaway fouls certainly helped. The inability to make free throws, a little giveaway here on the baseline. Sure that was Gaskins or not. I think it was.
Yeah.
Were you at that game?
No, I did not go out to Albuquerque.
It was interesting sitting there just watching the whole thing evolve.
I still have one question. I know the answer that you get up in Carolina, but it's not the same answer that you get in Houston. Was that a pass, or was it an errant shot?
You get the Bronx shoe in here, it was. Derek up there, oh my, coughing it up in vulnerable spots.
On the wing, Leidy scores it.
Well-oiled machine right now, especially the pressure. I'm not sure if Thad Matta thought the pressure would be this effective.
I think it's norm for him, but back it off and rely on that zone. But once you see it, it's like that meat that the elephant was devoured out there. Or oats or whatever they do eat.
Oats. Not meat.
I'm glad we have you here. They're not carnivorous, huh?
I'm not taking my kids to any circus where the elephants eat meat.
Well, we used to come to this great building with our kids, and at intermission, we used to say to them, okay, kids, circus is over.
You probably did. You made them leave early.
We gave them a box of Cracker Jack, put them back in their room.
About to go under 5 minutes to play in this opening half. And Polynice,
nothing easy around the rim even when they get there.
Andy Kennedy looking for some place to go, and so far there has just been no answer.
Someplace to go and hide. You're not doing well. They are really struggling. Nice dive here. And can't complete again. This time Curtis.
How about Lauderdale, freshman from Cleveland?
Huge-bodied individual, 6'8", 260.
He's a banger at the rim, blocks some shots.
Not a great shooter. In fact, an odd shooting position where he drops the ball down and makes himself about 6'2" instead of 6'8".
Well, that's dangerous around the rim anyhow. You get back slowly. It starts on this end. Oh, goodness, they can't stop penetration. Those baseline rubs, not that effective, but with the dribble, more so.
Well, Turner's had a huge first half. I love his energy, and also giving him a huge lift offensively.
How about Thad's energy on the sideline, too? Amazing.
Interesting story, Ron, about P.J. Hill. He's a guy that was a qualifier out of high school. Nobody recruited him, Bill. And when they needed a point guard, they found him last summer at a camp for junior college players, and he was expecting to go back to junior college one more year. But when they lost Michael Connolly, they were really shorthanded. So
they got him in the summer, didn't they?
Yeah, they got him in the summertime.
Well, let me ask you this question now. How does Indiana, how do you think they'll fare? Will they keep the kids that have agreed, and do you think they'll be able to come up with some kids at this late day?
Well, they're going to be shorthanded because you know DJ White's leaving, Gordon's leaving.
Right.
They've thrown 2 guys off the team today.
But they're back on, though, from what they tell us. Well, Dan did it, but the school apparently is saying no, it's not going through.
Is that right?
That's what somebody told me before. We'll find out.
I think it's a perfect time for Tom Crean to go.
Speaking of the big fella,
Lauderdale jams at home. 7 of 25, 28%, and another turnover.
Nice pass. Nice hands. Warren.
Lauderdale with the block. Graham picks up the foul. 41-18. All Buckeyes so far.
I'm here with Mike Grunsky, MVP of the Kopinski appendectomy. That was quite an effort today, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. Got to give credit to the team, though. You know, they really stepped up, helped me watch the Colorado-Arizona game cast, kept John out of shock.
Was the crowd a factor?
No, but John screaming was a surprise. Lost a lot of respect for him today.
Understood. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Be an ESPN MVP. Manage your ESPN fantasy teams. Get video alerts, exclusive commentary, and more with VCast. Only from Verizon Wireless.
The world's top riders are following the dirt to the Navy Moto X World Championships. April 12th and 13th, live on ESPN and ESPN2.
The season premiere of MLS Primetime Thursday features an Eastern Conference Finals rematch between New England and Chicago. Then San Jose battles David Beckham and the LA Galaxy Thursday on ESPN2, ESPN2 HD, and ESPN Deportes.
What I wanted to do was make calling less expensive, but I never technically did anything about it. Time Warner Cable beat me to it. What am I going to do? I don't know. But I had the idea.
I thought of DVR. I didn't think of the box. Time Warner Cable did the box. But if you take away the electronics and the box and the wires and the bits that make it work, what's left? That's my idea.
Is your financial situation in a downward spiral? Debt Relief Solutions places you with professional debt management companies who work to help consolidate your bills into one simple monthly payment, reduce or even eliminate interest, lower your monthly payments, and pay off your bills faster. You may even qualify to get cash back for paying your bills on time. Debt Relief Solutions helps you manage the unmanageable.
Call Debt Relief Solutions at 800-598-9692. That's 800-598-9692.
Scott Reese, Tom Brennan, Doug Gottlieb in the studio. Just ahead on the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report, we got a coach coming to Bloomington, Indiana, and a coach leaving from Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I like the choice of the guy coming in. I think he's going to do a good job, that being Tom Crean from Marquette. As far as Oklahoma State, that guy really got robbed. It was terrible.
Weird time in college basketball when 39 wins in 2 years doesn't at least buy you a third year at your program.
Update you on women's basketball. Of course, a Final Four trip at stake in both these games. Tennessee earns it by knocking off Texas A&M, and Rutgers and UConn. Great ball game over on ESPN. Second half now, under 16 to go. 3-point lead for these Scarlet Knights. See you at halftime, Ron.
Okay, thanks very much. Our situation, not a good one if you're an Ole Miss fan. 41-18, and we're about to hit 3.5 minutes left until halftime.
Not great decision making on the one end, and they're not able to slow down this that's going now. The Ohio State offense has been purring.
A lot of different weapons, and they really haven't pounded it inside. Been a lot of jump shots, transition baskets off that press.
And Warren looks bad. It's not his fault. Too many people around the ball.
Well, Ron, you saw Ole Miss dominate Virginia Tech.
They were plus
week.
23 up there, and tonight, what, minus 10. 12 turnovers against Ole Miss in the first half.
You say, let's get back, let's pound it inside. They can't get it to pound it in.
They don't get it close enough to the, to the three-point line to pound it in.
Here's Hill, long three. Tipped up and taken down by Lauderdale.
Good hustle play right there. Always like when those big guys get an offensive rebound and kick it out.
Typical of guards. I like it when they catch it and go back up. No, that's how you get those threes, though. That's a great little play.
Skip pass here. Leidy dribbles to the middle. It's an air ball.
Nice hustle play. To Williger, that's what his job is. The little things, and bite you with a little 15-footer.
To Williger and Jamar Butler, 103 wins in 4 years, the winningest two Buckeyes of all time. You go back to Lucas and Havlicek,
Noel, Joe Roberts.
Yep. The Clark Kellogg teams, Tony Campbell. Guys I helped recruit, Chris Gent, Jimmy Jackson. But these two guys have won a lot of games.
Abler off the mark.
There you go. That's his kind of rebound. Muscling it to the ground, Dwayne.
Smith back in the ball game at point for the Rebels. Curtis, nice spin move.
It's one of the rare times where they've taken care of the ball long enough to get it.
First point in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Points well taken.
Yep.
Get a couple stops now. Start thinking positively.
Of course, this is where Travis Ford would love to have his team right now, down 21.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat, guys.
Butler.
How pure is that thing becoming? I mean, he almost shoots it effortlessly. Nobody really on him.
Look at him chase it.
And again, I think this might be on the big guy. Yep. Othello.
Well, on Thursday night, ESPN has got a great night of college hoops action. First of all, at 7 Eastern. This is where Fran, Bill, and I will be. Madison Square Garden. It'll be UMass taking on the winner of this game in the MasterCard NIT Championship. And then at 9 Eastern, check out the State Farm College Basketball Slam Dunk and Three-Point Shooting Championship.
The way the Buckeyes are playing tonight, Jamar Butler is going to have to turn down that invitation to the three-point contest on Thursday.
I think he'd rather be here, don't you?
I think so.
Oh, goodness. Boy, the trap is just killing him. Oh.
You talk about a break.
Yeah, the first one they've had. Hey, by the way you had lunch today. I mean, the dessert.
I had the cannoli.
Back in New York. You don't get those in Dallas, huh?
No.
Graham trying to muscle it to the hoop, and he is going to go to the line to shoot a couple.
Well, I got my New York Post, my Daily News, and my cannolis. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
What makes a good cannoli?
Oh, the cream and the, you know, I like the
sugar.
Powder. The sugar on top. Powder.
You used Clearasil when you were a kid, I guess. Huh?
All right, when Andy Kennedy goes in at halftime, you know what? What's he going to go to the
He's not going to get a cannoli.
He's not getting any cannoli.
That's exactly the point I was making. No cannolis for this team.
No. But you know what? It's been such a long season. And they don't know. I don't know if they have the capability of defending well enough to come back.
No, this is. And right now, Ohio State is playing in an efficient fashion. Here's a turnover, but they've been solid on both ends. And he doesn't see any humor in it as any of us would. Not playing solid basketball, not attacking the pressure.
You know, this reminds me of early in the year in the Puerto Rico Classic. Temple was up 50-25 on College of Charleston at the half, and Bobby Kremen's team came back and won. So you never know.
No, you never know. You know, I don't look for Ohio State to stop playing the way they are defensively, so you've got to match that. Nice run out here by Terwilliger.
Yeah.
And you're not getting back.
Butler for three.
They're looking for one. Let's see.
Well, let's see. There's about a second and a half, Bill, between shot clock and game clock.
Just
and the
about.
shot clock is at 22.
Good time to mention right here what Whitey handled the ball. Mike Golick is a Cleveland Villa Angeles St. Joe's grad. So I get that in.
He didn't play basketball, though.
I think he spent his time
in the weight room. And having cannolis.
Leidy.
Oh, they got a foul? No. Wiped it out.
Largest halftime deficit this season for Ole Miss. let's go to Allen.
Coach, the pressure seemed to bother you guys. What adjustments do you make in the second half?
Well, it was just a nightmare. We did everything possibly we could wrong. Can't make a shot, didn't handle pressure. We've got to go in and play with a little bit of pride in the second half.
How do you refocus your team in the second half?
Well, it's do or die. Obviously, we know we've got 20 more minutes of basketball unless we play exceptional. We've got to hope that pride kicks in and we can finish the game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Ron.
Al, thanks very much. 44-20, our halftime score. So now let's go to Scott Reese, Doug Gottlieb, and Tom Brennan in the studio for the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report.
All right, Ron, Coach said it, a nightmarish first half for Ole Miss, down by 24 at the break. Earlier NIT action, it was UMass and Florida with a spot in the finals up for grabs. First half action, transition basketball. Nick Calathis checks loose inside, puts it up off the window. That gives the Huskies the lead. Right now it is 48-46, under 6 to go. You can check out the dramatic conclusion over on ESPN as the winner is on to the Final Four. Now, back to MSG, guys.
So welcome back to the MasterCard NIT here at Madison Square Garden. It's Ole Miss taking on Ohio State. UMass has already punched a ticket to the finals on Thursday evening. And is it going to be the Buckeyes or is it going to be the Rebels? With the score of 44-20 at halftime, it's not going to be easy. It's not impossible, but it's certainly not going to be easy.
Well, remember this. Ole Miss has 13 wins against teams that are in the postseason, so we know they're a good club. You're Andy Kennedy right now. You just want to chip away, right? Show some pride.
I'm sort of an authority on difficult situations from a coaching standpoint, but really you just say, look, let's go out, let's make believe it's nothing. Let's see what we can do. Just get back, and I loved his comments. Very classy. A nightmare. They did not perform well. Got to play with a little pride and passion. Let's see if they step it up.
Here's Warren, open it up with a three-point attempt. Koufos will come away with the loose ball. Butler, 3. Well, here are the stats from the first half.
Well, they are not pretty for Ole Miss. You see the poor shooting, and the rebound margin is not necessarily a shock when you think of how many missed shots they've put up for the Buckeyes to rebound.
14 more shots they had, Ohio State. You mentioned the rebounds, devastating.
Well, the bounce pass, Williams had not moved toward the basket, and so it's a turnover immediately for Ole Miss to open the second half.
Yeah, there was more bounce than pass on that look. That was just lackadaisical.
And watch it, Thad Monty's actually sitting, Fran. Now, how often have you seen that? Well, he's up now, but relaxing.
And let's check in with Alan Hopkins. Alan?
Thanks, Ryan. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Mata. He said the best way for us to keep focused with this big lead is to continue concentrating like we are. We're taking good care of the basketball. We know Ole Miss is a good team. We have to respect them and keep coming out and keep fighting. He likes their offensive flow. He loves how they're knocking down shots. But more importantly, he says the team knows they have to focus for one more half to get the game in their back pocket. Ron?
Okay, Alan. We have just played the first minute of the second half, 47-20, Ohio State. There's another ball blocked.
Nice
that was Othello Hunter.
Well, he was in the right spot helping. Good D here.
Polynice strong to the hoop, scored it, and he'll have an opportunity for a three-point play.
Yeah, we saw UMass in that first game versus the zone use the dribble effectively, and really a rare opportunity for a guy like Polynice to get all the way to the rim.
Well, you hope they lose focus. I mean, that's the other end of this. If you just keep playing, maybe they'll be relaxed, think it's an easy little boat ride. Speaking of the boathouse, nice to see you guys made it tonight.
No, there was no alcohol there for one thing.
Which is why I stayed in Jersey.
But the fillets were delicious. Wonder why we missed you.
Nice job of breaking the pressure. Hunter again.
Well, that's the gamble, too. You know, the heart and head, bad combination when they go, and they just never got back. There it is. It almost worked before, but they stole it. Nice dive and recognition.
by Curtis. And now the question is, can you speed him up and get some stops at the same time? And Ohio State, as you mentioned, Bill, attacking that pressure.
Well, Turner really takes the heat off of Butler, doesn't he? He didn't handle it badly.
Hunter lost it. It's going to be touched last by Curtis. Ohio State ball, 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, this is the longest I've seen Thad Matta seated, by the way.
Well, remember the back surgery last summer?
He said he's got to rest it.
Yeah. So I think this is the opportune time to sit down unless your team coughs away some of his lead. How about his staff? John Gross, Archie Miller, Sean's brother.
Yeah.
5 seconds on the shot clock when he took that shot, and it comes right back to Ohio State.
They've set for a lot of great wins, haven't they? You were talking today about the one game against Illinois when they couldn't go to the tournament.
And,
that was their tournament.
That was their tournament. Thad Matta's first year when Illinois had that huge win streak.
And that's his shot now, Ron. That's his go-to in the box area.
Kopas now with double figures, 10 points.
There's that dribble penetration again. If you're under control, you can draw 2 defenders.
Just the defense isn't as heated, it seems, right?
Hunter, short jumper, not there. Curtis will rebound. Huertas for 3.
There you go. Talking about pride, dignity.
Pride, dignity, and a little dribble penetration again.
That's not a bad combo. That's why you come out with a lot of energy if you're Ohio State. I mean, you got to put it away before you can relax.
Here's Leidy working against Polynice. Got the bounce pass inside, shot too hard, and Polynice will push it up. Turner. Nice. Opportunity for a 3-point play.
I love it. I love it. Kids have tickers, Ron.
Kind of reminds you of Gary Forbes from UMass in the first half. Look at this. And he's a slasher, too, so open court for him is right up his alley.
He's got a pretty good handle.
Well, speaking of that, UMass trailed Syracuse by 22 points in that ball game in the second half, wasn't it, Fran?
Yes, there's 14 minutes to go. They came and carved into a 22-point lead.
A little woofing just started there, Bob Donato, making sure it didn't go any further or escalate.
It didn't take long for Thad Matta to get up off that comfortable seat. He's got to do a little coaching this half.
Yeah, all of a sudden, he's got to get their head into it.
Lucas not there. Rebounded again by Dwayne Curtis.
You never know.
No, you know. It's great.
Ball tipped and stolen. Numbers here for Ohio State. 3-on-1 Leidy.
Well, that gets him right back in it emotionally. You cough it up and you pay for it against this team, at least at the end of the year, don't you?
Huertas.
For the big guy out there, he can go around him as well and be creative.
I think you mentioned in the first game, Ron Huertas, a former Florida Gator.
Yeah.
Transferred.
In fact, it was interesting when he was down at Gainesville. He told him he was David. That's what he wanted to be called. And I asked him up at Blacksburg, and he said, David. Well, I said, okay, whatever.
Either guy got the foul, David or David. David.
Well, they split it. 53-35, Ohio State. We'll be right back.
Early round coverage of the Masters, April 10th and 11th on ESPN.
The Toyota Corolla is so fuel efficient, we gave our friend a gallon of gas and put his fiancée on a yacht far, far away with an all-star water polo team. all-new Corolla makes it. The 35-mile-per-gallon rated Corolla. Live the dream for less coin.
Did you hear that?
It's our first night in the new house. Do you have any check?
Okay.
I saw a guy trying to break in.
What?
The alarm. Scared him off.
Hello.
This is Andy from Brinks Home Security. Are you all right?
My husband saw someone try to break in.
I'm sending help right now.
Thank you.
Call 1-800-922-3365 now to blanket your home with protection from Brinks Home Security and install a personalized system for just $99. Inside, Brinks delivers peace of mind to you and your family with state-of-the-art sensors and detectors engineered to help protect and alert. This includes the Brinks Security Keypad, your link to the Brinks 24-hour award-winning monitoring centers that can provide a fast response to both you and the authorities. Call now to get the $99 installation and a second keypad installed free. That's a $135 value. Plus, you could save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-922-3365 now and get the system installed for just $99. Brinks Home Security, dedicated to rapid response and peace of mind 24 hours a day. Call now.
Scott Reese with a SportsCenter in-game update. Women's NCAA tournament action. Rutgers, UConn. Winner goes to Tampa for the Final Four. Epiphany Prince for 3. Scarlet Knights have tied it at 49, but back comes Maya Moore with 3 of her own. 54-51, UConn, under 2 to go. Fantastic finish. Ron?
Okay, boy, this really is like a championship game playing there.
Well, it is.
I mean, it is a championship, but like you would expect to see in the finals.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I don't know if you've got a chance to see Maya Moore this year, Bill, but she is like the Kevin Durant of this season. She's so smooth, Ron. Can shoot the 3. First-team All-American.
LSU, Tennessee in the first semifinal. And Stanford against the winner of that Rutgers and UConn game.
And Candace Wiggins has been on fire in the women's tournament.
I watched that game last night, and she, again, was just really too hot to handle. What, back-to-back 40-point plus games?
Outstanding in the tournament.
And Coach Franklin wants the ball inside, and they get a foul trying to do it, which is great, Ron. You're right. Curtis trying to load up and beg for it, and they've not done that often enough when they've been able to do it.
Instead of getting impatient when the ball gets inside, Ohio State's capable of fouling as well.
No, perfect trap.
Polynice tried to dish it off. And the ball is blocked. Warren for 3.
Great checkouts, too. Terwilliger leading the pack.
Terwilliger, long 3.
I think he'll put up that little ball screen a little lower the next time for his pick and pop.
Huertas. 15-point ball game, and he's got 15 points.
Now you're a mistake or 2. Oh, my goodness, that was close. Huh? He thought he had it.
Boy, he did a great job, Curtis, of sneaking up on that pass to the middle. I like it. You know, I like what Andy Kennedy said. I like how he handled it. His team has responded.
That's a 14-2 run by Ole Miss.
I think that says a lot about your ball club. Last game of the year, you're playing in April.
Says a lot about him, too.
I agree.
A nice little curl here, but we saw him do that at Cincy, too. Take a tough situation and have a heck of a year. Good pull up. Didn't charge. Smart.
You know, I mentioned earlier, guys, 13 wins against teams that are playing in the postseason and 17-0 non-conference. They've really, when you look at it, Ron, and you followed Ole Miss basketball through the years, they've really stabilized this program. A lot of good young players.
Deep in the corner, three-pointer, Butler.
It's nice to have him around, isn't it?
I'm telling you.
They get the 15. He can ring that bell with the best of them deep.
Last year he went from being the starting pitcher to like the middle reliever, and he's back in the rotation.
He used to get 3 innings a game, huh? The zone's really picked up the steam now. Cross court, you got him.
Warren for 3.
Well, they're playing with a looseness now. Huertas gets the small change in the backcourt.
Friday night at 8 Eastern, ESPN Classic remembers the North Carolina State upset of Houston 25 years later. More information, log on to ESPN.com. The game played in Albuquerque, New Mexico in the 5th.
Remember, Jerry Tarkanian used to bring his teams to the pit with the mile-high altitude, and the players used to worry about it. And he grabbed the team one day and said, "Don't worry, guys. Altitude's not a factor. The game's being played indoors."
And they bought it.
There's a big basket right here, huh?
There is. 15-point game. Strong to the hoop, and there's a foul.
Well, yeah, you know, you see so many crazy things over the course of the season. That's why they're kids. You know, you got a lot of freshmen out here.
And of course, the other end of it, Ohio State, you know, they think maybe it's over and you can't revive them. And
that's one of the reasons what Allen, I think, was talking about that Thad said. You know, you got to maintain focus. You guys know better than anybody, having been coaches, the toughest thing to regain is momentum once you lose it.
He's your dear friend, and boy, he can turn on you.
Mo. He's there when you need him, and sometimes he disappears.
He's around the corner.
Warren gets a break, but that means Brian Smith back in, the senior out of Lexington.
And Trevor, a kid that gets in the lane, too. He's a nice compliment to Warren. He and Smith are together now.
Well, the Ole Miss kids, boy, fired up. Trevor Gaskins trying to tell the official that ball went on the feet of an Ohio State player.
Oh, you got a home run here.
Yeah, they cushioned it a little bit, just in time.
19-5 is the run by Ole Miss. And a 13-point ball game with almost 12 minutes left to play. Stolen. It's Gaskins behind the back, and Williams will score it.
Oh, you're right, Billy. This is a reflection of Andy Kennedy.
They're just terrific to see. And now you're going to find and test the poise of Stade Mata. He realizes they're knocking at the door. Things have changed. Mo, where are you, baby? A little step in, ready to passing lane. Gaskins turning it up, and a little sleight of hand in Manhattan.
Get in the game. Get in the game.
Your love for car has never been more real. Introducing the first ever Pontiac G8 GT, the most powerful car under 30 grand.
The Red Robin Department of Deliciousness is famous for its dedication to barbecue. This is where the Whiskey River Barbecue Burger was born. The combination of the barbecue sauce and the crispy onion straws makes it one of our most craveable burgers, which is why we've put up these red ropes. And the electric fence. And the plexiglass wall. Okay, who wants to see the pickle room?
Nobody makes gourmet burgers like we do. Uniquely created to be insanely delicious.
Red Robin.
Yum. I inhabit the nightmares of Italian loafers. I've trodden my own path. I have stepped in bull, but never talked it. I have been rehealed, resold, but never replaced. I am a stranger to polish. I have spent more time on dirt than cement.
You're out here for a reason. So are we. Tractor Supply Company. The stuff you need out here.
Scott Reese in the studio. Looks like we're going to have a UConn-Stanford matchup in the women's Final Four as the Huskies about to dispatch of conference rival Rutgers. It's 64-56 now with just 13 ticks left on the clock. So congratulations to Gino Auriemma as well as Pat Summitt back in the Final Four this season. Guys?
All righty, our situation with 11 minutes and 53 seconds left in our ball game. All of a sudden, Ole Miss with a, what is it now, a 21-5 run. UMass.
They came back from 22 down, 14 minutes to go, and Dante Milligan, the star of that game, and Travis Ford, guy, said, "We're going to New York."
Great smile, and whoever turned it around this year. They were just so good coming down the stretch.
UMass, of course, awaits the winner of this ball game. By the way, in the first half, Ole Miss only had 8 field goals, and they have 9 already in the second half. Strong to the hoop, and that's going to be an out-of-control offensive foul. So let's take a timeout. 56-45, an 11-point game. Don't go away.
Today, I plan on not freaking out about my wireless bill. I plan on saying whatever when my daughter talks for hours. Yeah, I plan on being totally down with calling Denver in the middle of the afternoon, huh? Hollering at my boys, kicking it with three-way calling. I plan on grabbing my celly and getting my...
Dad!
Oh, sorry. Okay.
America's most reliable network introduces a plan with truly unlimited calling. Talk as much as you want with anyone in the U.S. for one flat rate. And now buy a text-friendly Envy Your Music playing chocolate for just $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. But if you get TV through an antenna on an analog set, it won't work after February 2009. So call 888-DTV-2009 to learn about a government coupon program that begins in January, or visit dtvtransition.org.
Bad things happen to good people. That's why Thornhill Automotive Group is introducing their new credit, rebuild, and repair program.
Rebuild your credit in a confidential manner with the professionals who will properly handle your financing needs. If your credit challenged, you still have options when you finance with Thornhill Automotive. Everyone rides with Thornhill's credit repair and rebuild program.
Let Thornhill professionals take care of your financing needs. Thornhill Automotive Group, Chapmanville.
Is your financial situation in a downward spiral? Debt Relief Solutions places you with professional debt management companies who work to help consolidate your bills into one simple monthly payment, reduce or even eliminate interest, lower your monthly payments, and pay off your bills faster. You may even qualify to get cash back for paying your bills on time. Debt Relief Solutions helps you manage the unmanageable.
Call Debt Relief Solutions at 800-598-9692. That's 800-598-9692.
This telecast is being broadcast in high definition, available on ESPN2 HD. Presented by Olivia, live and in color. Ron Franklin, along with Fran Fraschilla, Bill Raftery, and Alan Hopkins, coming to you from Madison Square Garden, the second semifinal matchup of the night. UMass won the first one, upsetting Florida. And it's going to be the winner of this ball game taking on UMass. And right now, Ole Miss with a 21-5 run in this second half.
And Ron, Fran is salivating here as he looks up. How come they don't have corned beef and cabbage in these little
I am
teasers?
I'm dying for a slice and a Coke right now, as we'd say in Brooklyn.
A slice.
A slice and a Coke. Then save the cannolis for later.
He got everybody in the truck salivating over the cannolis.
Clock problem. Yeah. Down to 12. I'm sorry, Ron.
Well, that's going to be a reset, obviously, because that foul caused it to be a new 35. So they'll count it down. They'll probably take a stopwatch out.
And that psychological barrier about to be breached here. 11.
Oh, this is
score.
Nothing.
You go to 9. You know, it's or 8.
That's right. We're getting back to UMass. What did we say? It was 22 with 14 to go.
Right.
Right now, Thad Matta wishes there was a minute 46.
Yeah, he'd be very happy about it. Your fans have hung in here, Ron, and that's that student spirit that you exemplify in your heyday at Mississippi. Really?
How do you know?
Well, I'm sure you were. They've been vocal and supportive.
And we've been told that if Ole Miss comes back and wins this game, we may see Eli Manning on Thursday night at a prior engagement tonight. Of course, he's probably busy this time of year with the...
I would think he's got a few endorsements, and much like yourself. Bobby's not in a hurry to get his slice.
You know, somebody told me with the Ole Miss party today that you can't buy an Eli Manning jersey in this city. Everything's on back order. That's how popular that jersey has since the Super Bowl.
And how about that?
That's New York City, not Oxford.
Well, how about last November?
Oh, they could
give them away. That's how they really stick with you
in New York. They're with you winter time.
Right. Maybe a rain out on occasion.
56-45. 11 and a half minutes left in the ball game, and there's a foul by Leidy.
What they do with their defense, guys, is they only hold teams to 31% three-point shooting. So you know, Billy, they're out extending, and that's the perfect time to put it on the floor.
And Mississippi's done some really good things. Nice pressure all over here. That is a lack of leaping ability there by Curtis.
Bouncer on the wing. Whistle on the foul. That's going to go against Warren, but he stopped the shooter from making a possible three-point play. Now, Thursday night, ESPN has got a great night of college hoops action. First of all, at 7 Eastern, UMass takes on the winner of this game in the MasterCard NIT Championship. That's where Bill and Fran and I will be, and Alan as well. Then at 9 o'clock Eastern, check out the State Farm College Basketball Slam Dunk and Three-Point Shooting Championship.
Hey, what do you think of Deron Washington of Virginia Tech? He got a chance to win that dunk contest?
Yeah. I don't think there's any question.
He can elevate, huh?
Oh, I mean, he's been Mr. Primetime on SportsCenter a number of times.
He had a shot of his mom quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right? By the way, did you see the half-court pressure here and the turnover? Tennessee and Bruce Pearl's unbelievable on any dead ball situation.
Anywhere in the court.
Yeah, Ohio State just terrific that last trip.
Well, the ball is blocked again.
And that's an old Dr. Tom Davis thing. The side, remember Gary Williams, Dr. Tom, the pressure on the side.
Well, he was about to have the rebound. Was Huertas. Wayne Curtis. It came off his hand and went out of bounds.
Well, that's the effort they've extended themselves this second half. You don't mind that. A little better communication next time.
Good ball movement by the Buckeyes.
How about that?
Hoofus, the scoop.
The scoop to the hoop on the big stage.
You are exactly right, Bill, about the length of Leidy and Turner, and now you're Chris Warren, Ron. And you got to deal with those guys.
Polonese, and there's going to be a foul on Turner.
Take a look at this move. Young man, a freshman from Canton, Ohio. Little spin move, and he held his pivot foot, too.
Perfect footwork.
Take a look.
He's going to get better and better, this kid, because he can shoot the ball, and he actually puts it on the ground away from traffic. You know, he knows when the people are around him.
17 fouls against Ohio State, and we still have 10:25 left to play in this ball game. And let's check in with Alan Hopkins.
Thanks, Ryan. I had a chance earlier this season to talk to Panos Giannakis, which is actually the Greek national team coach, and he loves Koufos, and he certainly believes he'll be a big part of what they're doing in the future on the national team front. And he said the upside they like so much about him is the fact that he doesn't have any bad habits, and he loved the fact that he's at Ohio State, and they have the utmost respect for Coach Malley and how he's developing. But look for Koufos to be a star on the national stage for Greece, Ron.
Okay, Al, good job on the pressure, and then they just turned the man loose in the lane.
Great diagonal look. Do you remember a kid we had, Nick Galis?
Absolutely.
And Nick was player of the year in Europe.
Yes, sir.
And how he got drafted, he went up to Boston. He was drafted by them. And it was at Hellenic College. And the Greek nationals were here and saw him. And he's living there. He's had a great career. He as a matter of fact, during the Olympics, he walked in bearing the flag, you know.
And you know the national team coach that Alan just referred to, Yanakis, he and Galis were the national team backcourt for many years.
Oh, okay.
Tough as nails. Yanakis was like Jerry Sloan, and of course you know how good Nicky was.
Nicky was tough.
Yep.
Didn't need a lot of shots to score either.
Yanakis was the guy that coached the Greek team when they knocked off the U.S. in the World Championships a couple summers ago.
Rufus couldn't get it, and it'll be Curtis who will rebound it. 13-point ball game.
Good work.
Huertas, nope, not there.
Nice.
Curtis on the follow. Couldn't get the shot to go as David Lighty will pick up the foul.
Now that's experience. He knows where the shot's going to come off most often on that weak side. The dribble drive created the opportunity for Huertas.
And you also got to know when to give that little hip nudge at the right time.
Get him under.
Shot on the way, and Curtis makes it. This is his birthday.
Yeah, good place suspended in New York City at Madison Square Garden.
Be a nice present if they could get back into this thing.
17 double-doubles coming into this game.
Well, it's 2 missed free throws in the last 2 trips, so they got an opportunity with the clock stopped as we go under 9. That's 18 fouls against the Buckeyes, but they got to take advantage of it. Butler, nope. Hunter is right there, and he's fouled on the way up.
Well, that was a tough rebound to get. It didn't really jar it off the glass.
And Jeremy Parnell, a senior out of Gosnell, Arkansas, about to check in, another large body for the Ole Miss Rebels.
You look at what Thad Matta has done in terms of recruiting, you know, not just the Odin class with Michael Conley and Daquan Cook, but this group of freshmen. Got a great group next year, Ron. And one of the things Thad Matta has done is he's restored the pride in Ohio in Buckeye basketball. And we were talking about this today, Ron. Ohio has so many major cities.
Yeah.
You know, you think of Akron and Canton, Cleveland, Toledo, Cincinnati, and Dayton. So many great high school programs in that state.
I saw that the St. John Arena too. I mean, did you hear? I'm sure you looked at the tape, but the noise, incredible. They had a Springsteen concert
at the new
arena.
Value City. Yeah.
The only thing that distracted me were all those volleyball lines on the floor.
Yeah.
I thought I was watching a game in some school in California.
Well, my 2 years with Gary Williams at Ohio State, St. John Arena was just unbelievable. It was like Madison Square Garden. And I'm sorry, Boston Garden. With the overhang.
Right. 7 seconds on the shot clock here. So Ole Miss gets an opportunity to inbound it on the baseline. Knocked out of bounds. Good hustle right there by 23 David Lighty. He had 44 steals coming into this ball game.
Well, they are bookend wings, I'll tell you. He and Turner.
5 seconds down to 4. Polynice on the run. Not there. He did not draw iron. So that's going to be a shot clock violation. The ball came over, hit the glass, but did not hit the rim.
The first shot was a little too quick by Polynice. He sort of panicked. You know?
I think that's what Andy Kennedy said, because 7 seconds is a lifetime, and sometimes these young players don't have a clock in their head. They get rattled sometimes on the road when the crowd chants the shot clock goes to the off number.
Rattles at home, Turner.
Boy, this guy.
He's got 13 now.
Yep. Been a starter for most of the season, only a freshman.
And part of the problem is not scoring and not getting into this pressure. Now the ring of the bell can slow it down, get deeper into the shot clock, set the zone up. Nice.
Ball blocked by Hunter.
He gets off his feet quick.
There you
got it, and an opportunity for a three-point play.
Well, he got the angle. That's what he needed. Right. You know, he really didn't have the angle earlier. The advantage is the elevator.
Tell you what he did. He negated the jumping ability right here. First the block, and then the finish.
Later on,
Rubber ball, $6. Softball, $5. Football, $35. Being ready for whatever parenthood throws at you, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's credit or debit MasterCard.
Stay focused for the next 60 seconds. That's all the time I have to tell you the truth about HD television. The truth your cable company doesn't want you to hear. Cable wants you to believe they're keeping up with HD capacity. They're not. But DirecTV is. Get the best entertainment and the most HD channels with DirecTV. That includes exclusive sports with games and matchups you won't see on cable. So call now for all your favorite sports, movies, and shows. And you always get your local channels. Do you know what else? Packages start at only $29.99 per month, and you can add HD access to any package for an additional $9.99. Compare that to your cable bill. There are no startup costs, no equipment to buy, and professional installation is free. Call now. You also get a free HD receiver or DirecTV DVR upgrade from America's #1 HD provider. Time's up. Make the call.
Epson T001, Canon BC31E.
Shopping for ink and toner at most stores is hit or miss.
HP C9720.
Come on.
A.
At Staples, we guarantee we'll have the ink and toner you need in stock.
Bingo.
Including Dell. The ink and toner guarantee. Only at Staples. That was easy.
Scott Reese in the studio. Once again, it is a final as Gino Auriemma and UConn knock off Rutgers 66-56. The Huskies trailed this game double digits in the first half. Come from behind victory, and they are moving on to familiar territory, the Final Four. So there they are, the women's Final Four. First, UConn and Stanford will go at it, 7 Eastern on ESPN Sunday. And, of course, the other side of the bracket, LSU and Tennessee. One more time, that game at 9 Eastern. Our coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern time on Sunday. Women's Final Four action, guys.
All righty. Be interesting to see if Candace Parker is close to 100% for that ball game, because the fouls and company from LSU, you got to be 100%.
And Van Chancellor will have something up his sleeve. You can count on that.
I'll tell you what, he is over the years has done a really good job in women's basketball, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Left the colleges, went down to Houston, and had a very successful run in the Women's Pro League.
Weathering this storm. That's what it looks like right now for Ohio State. So you got to generate something if you're Ole Miss. A little bit pressure D here.
You know, and it looks as though that told him, let's burn up some of that clock before we get in a hurry. P.J. Hill will get the basket, the sophomore out of Minneapolis, by way of Midland Junior College.
He can get by people. And creative ball reversal, set it up, get a nice angle. A little blow by. And you just see the little drag at the end. A little helpless by Chris Warren.
So on the miss, Warren will push it up. 7 minutes. Under 7 now. Left to play in our ball game. Winner will get UMass on Thursday evening. Strong to the hoop and scores.
Boy, that's a good move by Malcolm White. He's only a freshman. I'll tell you what, I like that move right there.
Again, they just haven't been able to get it inside often enough.
Not only that, but when they go inside, they juke a lot. He just took it straight to the basket. Rufus.
Well, that's like a drink of water for him right there.
Just an unbelievable counter. If they can drive the lane and you help out, you almost have to stay at home on him.
And on that close, he's shooting down at the basket.
Timeout. A good trap again. Second time tonight they've had that
Death Valley
difficulty. Yeah.
Take a look at that last basket by Costa Koufos.
I mentioned Koufos. See the kick and the little dish, and Koufos, a guy that we talked about earlier, recruited to play for the Greek under-18 team last summer. While he's an American citizen, he has the dual citizenship, so he's going to have a bright future, whether it's the NBA, Raph, or playing overseas.
Why are you trying to send them overseas?
I love those international guys. Just getting ready for the NBA draft. By the way.
We talk so much about UMass having 4 guys in double figures tonight, and the 5th starter had 8 points. Well, Lighty 14, Koufos 14, 13 for Turner and Butler with 12. Very balanced scoring for Ohio State.
Yeah. They've just played solid basketball, and I think they've weathered the storm. I mean, there's a lot of time left, but can you see anything in Mississippi's game that could change this?
No, not because you have a senior point guard in Jamar Butler that really does a good job of understanding time and score right now. And Ohio State, unlike UMass, doesn't really get up and down the floor. I think they don't mind playing at this tempo.
Warren not there, but on the foul. Quick up by Dwayne Curtis. 12-point ball game. Still lurking. 6 minutes left. And got it inside. On the follow. He is blocked, but it also is being called a foul by Bob Donato.
Well, you were right about Turner. The ability to handle the ball.
That was impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The same thing.
Then he got his own rebound, Ron.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about all the storied programs in the New York area, St. Anthony's and Rice and St. Raymond's, and you think about Evan Turner playing at Westchester St. Joe's in Chicago.
Right.
One of the great Catholic League programs in the country. And Gene Pingatore been there for many years.
Because Isaiah could use a couple of those former players. How they've been struggling here.
That's right.
Well, they got the Bucks tonight, I guess, on the road.
Oddities look inside, reverses it, and scored for Dwayne Curtis.
Pounds has almost been their best playmaker tonight.
He has.
Because of his ability to get into the lane and get a piece of that paint.
Don't you like Curtis's hands, too? I mean, this is just great penetration. He moves to the box, doesn't count the house, and he's ready. Uses the rim to ward off. Chance for 3. Not going away. Curtis goes inside. Excuse me, Ron. Good things happen.
Shot on the way, and he missed. Ole Miss has missed several coming down the stretch here. Curtis, 12 points, 15 rebounds.
That was 18th double-double of the season.
And Thad Matta wants a timeout. 5 minutes, 28 seconds left in the ball game. So 70-58. And we're going to hold it right here at Madison Square Garden with a 12-point ball game. And all right, I'd like to quiz you guys. Not about the NIT again, but also about the Final Four over in San Antonio.
Go ahead, Raph. I'm going to listen to you before I talk about it.
You're big on Memphis.
I'm big on Kansas because I've seen them all year.
Oh, okay.
And I love what Memphis did this weekend.
That will be a classic, Kansas, North Carolina.
Yes.
No question about it. The big thing for me with Memphis and UCLA, whose will is imposed here? And the one thing that it's easier to do, and I think you might agree with this, is it's easier to slow a fast team down than to speed somebody up.
It's a good point because 2 years ago they met in a regional final and the score was 50-45, Ron. So I think John Calipari would love to get the game going up and down.
Up and down. And the one great thing UCLA is going is Love is that point center that finds people. Now, having said that, Memphis has got so many weapons and kids who can get you turned around, and they're excellent defensively themselves.
And you have to ask the question, how many lives does the UCLA Cats have?
Well, they played better on Saturday than they had. A couple of weeks struggled coming down the stretch a little bit. Luke Richard Amute was injured, and then Ship and Westbrook didn't shoot well. So now you've got a few spokes missing. Now they're back.
And I think the X factor for Memphis is always Joey Dorsey, staying on the floor out of foul trouble and then keeping his head. And they're going to put a piece of tape over his mouth this week because John Calipari is going to make sure he says nothing about Kevin Love for the next 5 days.
If you talk about Love, just make sure it's not.
Just make sure there's a lot of love being spread around.
Can't be Kevin Love.
Reflecting back with Greg Oden, didn't think much of his game. It didn't turn out too well.
But how about Derrick Rose, too? He's been unbelievable.
Goodness.
The last couple weeks. Of course, he has been most of the year.
You know, I think Collison is one of the premier point guards. And, of course, Rose, that's a great I'm not so sure one will play the other. That's the interesting thing. Ben moves guys around. Westbrook might play Rose. That would be the guess, you know.
He's such a good defender.
Right.
Under 5 minutes to play. 73-59. Ohio State. Here's Liney. Quick release off the front iron. Huerta says, let's run it.
See, this is where your point guard should control the game right now. You don't have numbers. Don't shoot it.
Don't take a shot like that. He was good for a while.
Oh, the conversation was great until.
Boy, I thought I made a good point.
You did have a good point.
And you usually pay for it.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? All of a sudden.
11-point ball game with 4:18 left.
I think I would have ran out on the court and grabbed him by the neck on that shot.
You would have had a sub ready, but that's the patience you have to have, right?
Take a look now. You should be thinking time and score right now. If you've got this lead, here's the quick shot and a great hustle play by Palmes. And then that just leads to the other end. And the freshman, Chris Warren, knocking one down and cutting into this lead.
That was a great bit of coaching by you until he shot the ball.
Well, that was what not to do. See, if you're watching at home, don't do that.
It's
Brandon, make the point to Bill. You know, the coaching theory and plan was correct. It was the player that did execution.
It's always the player's fault.
Yeah, see, I didn't throw Thad Matta under the bus because I was thinking the same thing he was when he shot it. Oh, no.
But, you know, you give a guy like this some license, too.
Well, that's
Think
true.
about it. And once in a while, even if you've been down the road before as he has,
you're right about that.
Judgment has to prevail.
Yeah, we are talking about the all-time assist leader at Ohio State in Jamar Bowers. So
there's another quick one, by the way.
Warren tries to scoop it. Kufas.
Nice play. Nice play by Kufas. Slapped it back off Warren.
So Kufas, as Warren drives it, and you can see the block.
Remember how you felt about cars as a kid? We do. Introducing the first ever Pontiac G8 GT, the most powerful car under 30 grand.
I'm where Here Comes the Bride meets Here Comes All Her Stuff. Believe me, I'm there.
Wherever you are in life, whatever your needs, your dreams, or the hours you keep, no one understands that place better than State Farm. We help more people save money and protect what matters than anybody else.
You know where? Daddy, can't wait to get my license meets. Can't believe my baby's driving. Oh, yeah. I'm there.
From car to home to life, like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Whoa! That must be the coolest job in the world.
Actually, kid, I'm a fighter pilot. He's the lawn pro.
Mow like the pros and cut your mowing time in half with the amazing Toro Time Cutter Z. Visit toro.com/Z to learn more.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the MasterCard NIT is brought to you by MasterCard. There's some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Scott Reese in the studio. This is SportsCenter right now. And right now, the Indiana Hoosiers have a new coach. They will introduce Tom Crean at a news conference Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Crean did meet with his team earlier tonight. Meanwhile, a coming and a going Oklahoma State says goodbye to Sean Sutton, who resigns under pressure from the university. 17-16 were the Cowboys this year. It's the second year of the Sutton tenure in Stillwater. SportsCenter, currently over on ESPN. Stay current with ESPN News now in HD, guys.
All righty, 73-62, 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in our ball game. Winner is going to get UMass on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern Time here from the Garden. Ole Miss trying to turn the pressure up, and that's going to be a travel call on Lighty.
He had one, remember he said earlier, and a couple they may have let go. Got to
right.
concentrate on that pivot foot.
See what they can get against this zone right now.
See, they follow and
yes.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting.
Little hook. Little hook inside, Ron.
Bobby Donato got the peep active lately.
Go look, the little chicken wing. Oh yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Busted. Get locked up for that.
Especially in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
You get 90
Subway.
you can get 90 days.
Subway, they might give you a gift.
19 fouls against the Rebels here in the second half, still an 11-point ball game. It would appear that the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be back in town on Thursday to take on the Minutemen of UMass.
How do you think they slow down UMass, Billy?
Yeah, you know, he kicked it around. Maybe that 2-2-1 and back it off. By the way, Butler is ambling around on the dribble. He hurt himself. And look at him here. He is struggling just to Winston as he goes back. That's a major issue.
Yeah, you bet it is. Because, as you also pointed out, UMass is not going to change too much.
No.
And they're going to get it up and down the floor.
Well, their point guard, Chris Lowe, tonight. We've seen him a couple times. He only plays at that one speed.
Warren could not get it. Thrown down is Williams, and then Warren on a follow.
Well, Curtis really just giving it up there. He didn't want to run back, I don't think. But getting back to it, slow him down maybe with that 2-2-1, and then just not let the creative Low turn that corner somehow.
Yeah, I think what they did tonight and against Syracuse in those zones, they do as good a job as I've seen all year at driving the gaps of the zones and creating those threes. And the spacing with Brower as a four-man shooting a three.
Can you stop that? That's the key, I think, for Ohio State. I mean, that's what they'll be going through tomorrow.
I think if you want to look at zone offense, especially, we see so many guys struggle with that Syracuse-type zone. And, take a look at some UMass tape, because they do a good job of that.
They sure do.
Othello Hunter trying to become the 5th Buckeye to go into the double-figure club tonight. And he misses that one as Koufos tips the ball back, but it will come back to Ole Miss. Zach Graham.
And you keep him out here like this, challenge jumper. How about that one?
Well, on the season, Buckeyes have 42% of their opponent's shots have come from outside, so we know they do a good job of keeping it out of the lane.
8-point ball game. About to go under 2 minutes to play.
Critical possession right now, because a lot of Mo will slide Rebels' way if they get a stop here.
And you don't want to foul if you're Ole Miss now. Just play solid and rebound.
And Graham reached in, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Freshman.
And he played all that time, right?
Turner was about to take a bad shot.
27 seconds, right?
Ohio State 6 of 13 at the free throw line. College Game Day scoreboard driven by State Farm coming up next. Turner now 16 points. Oh, Butler went to the sideline, but he's not being attended to by, you know, anybody from the training staff.
I saw him twisting the foot. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I thought so too.
Yep, trying to shake it off.
Warren for three. Should have been a 4-point possibility. He got knocked flat by Hill. 19 points for Warren.
Use one more turnover here.
The timeout. Good play by Thad Matta.
And he's going to get Butler back in as well, Ron.
Bad foot and all, and he's walking gingerly too as he comes back in.
Chris Warren about 39% on the season. This guy came out of nowhere. SEC all-freshman team from Orlando. Ron, you mentioned lightly recruited. Take a look at the deep range.
See, he bangs him on the arm. That should have been a 4-point possibility. Which would, with the free throw, make the binding a little tighter on Thad Matta, wouldn't it?
Now this is key now, because if you could keep it out of Butler's hands, somehow make him give it up and don't let him get it back.
Well, there's a good reason to keep it out of his hands.
Oh, the free throw, yeah.
Because he's shooting 94%.
Right. But they do have the wings that do a pretty good job. Not too bad in the free throw shooting area as well. Turner at 70. What do we got Lady at? Struggling at 62.
Interesting. I talked about Warren earlier, about on the road in the SEC averaging just over 19 points, and he's got 19 here tonight. Had over 20 at Virginia Tech, so he has come up big, even though they've not been at home, which is great for a freshman.
I think it took him a little time in that first half. He got a little rattled.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And then he's really come out in the second half and played with a lot of poise.
So much for the ankle. Nice read.
He was he's limping, but
he's limping again, but he sure had some quick step when he took it off.
That's that old man YMCA limp, you know.
Exactly. I'm glad I resisted my pre-med major.
Well, you got to make him use a screen here.
He is hurt now. See him rolling that foot. But
yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Just the overplay there. Warren just gambled on the left hand.
I always wanted to push that guy to the screen where you knew you had the help.
Right.
And Warren, like a lot of freshmen do, he got baited into jumping to the screen and opened up that driving lane for the senior.
He's hurt though.
Othello Hunter fouls out of the ball game, and 9 points for him.
That may be the key play, that drive.
Absolutely. And it really was just a freshman mistake. He'll learn that, you know, when you get that high pick and roll right there, force that guy back to where all your help is.
Well, Graham 1 of 4 at the free throw line. Cooper's left alone, and he'll jam it.
A nice decision by Lady as well.
10-point ball game. UMass against Ohio State on Thursday night for the NIT Championship 2008.
Well, let's go back to halftime and credit Andy Kennedy, because they were down 24. And would they get it to 8 or 7? A good effort.
Really hung in. It's terrific to watch kids not pack it in. We talked about pride. He did. Just absolutely a compliment to that program and the year they've had.
24 wins, second most in Ole Miss history.
And Andy, as we mentioned off the top of the telecast, as the only Ole Miss coach in the history of the program to start with 20-plus wins his first 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's a keeper, no question about it.
5 seconds. 81-69. It'll be Ohio State moving into the championship game with a victory over Ole Miss tonight. Let's take a look at the brackets. With this win, Ohio State against UMass, 7 Eastern from here in the Garden on Thursday evening. Once again, the final 81-69 coming up next on ESPN2. College Game Day scoreboard driven by State Farm. 4 starters for the Buckeyes finish in double figures tonight, and 1 finished with 9. Final score 81-69. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now let's go to Scott Reese, Doug Gottlieb, and Tom Brennan in the studio. Gentlemen.
Welcome to College Game Day Scoreboard, driven by State Farm.
Hi there, welcome to the Pro